Hello? Hello. Hey everybody, welcome to part 2 of auditions, the good, the bad, and the ugly. I realized after cutting this second part together that there's some things that I missed. I had a lot to say and yet I didn't say everything. So I'm gonna pop in from time to time in this cut that's from, you'll see my outfit is from the same one as before with the little bits that I needed to clarify or add. So anyway, here it is, part 2, at ya, bam!
I'm supposed to believe that?
It's the truth.
Great. Okay. Fine. That's perfect.
Okay, so from January 5th, 2009 to July 15th, 2008. Okay, and this is what we're talking about here, okay? In no particular order, I just wrote down the movies that I didn't get. Sucker Punch, Gulliver's Travels, Mars Needs Moms, it's kind of a funny story. Lightning Thief, oh, something called Jesus in Cowboy Boots. I gotta check that out. Sorcerer's Apprentice, Book of Eli, Untitled Nancy Meyers Project, not sure which one that is, but didn't get it. Get Him to the Greek, Iron Man 2, The Descendants, Thor, Avatar, what? I didn't even know, I didn't even remember that I auditioned for Avatar. Jennifer's Body, Driving Lessons, Legion, The House on the Left, Untitled Wayans Brothers Project, I don't know what that is, but it didn't happen for me. Drive Angry, Transformers 2, I forgot I auditioned for that. That was another one where I'm just like trying to dress sexy and like be sexy, it was just like, All of these that I'm about to mention, I got down to the final round on. Juno, 13, Brink, Smart House, Tomorrowland, Pitch Perfect, Into the Woods, Youth and Revolt, Peter Pan, Halt and Catch Fire, The Big Bang Theory. Oh my gosh. It's a lot of heartbreak, folks. Here I am, still standing.
You're gonna see this small, or this dark, skinny form that's been crouched there watching you the whole time.
Oh my god! There's also a category of jobs that I didn't get that then later I got. United States of Terra. I tested for it and I didn't get it. And that one was really prominent because I felt so sure that I was supposed to do that part. Like it's only happened to me a couple times in my life where it's just like you feel this thing, this passion inside of you and you're like, this is what I'm supposed to do with my life. Yeah, I didn't get it and I fainted. But they ended up like restructuring the show and they're recasting some characters or whatever and they wanted me to come back in. I had to start all over again. I had to start with like meeting with the casting director and then meeting with the director and like all these people that I had already met and like tested with and I had to do it all over again. Yeah, and I remember after the test for that one, feeling really at peace that I wasn't gonna get it again. And then I got it. Kind of gives me chills when I talk about it because that was just, I was exactly where I was supposed to be. And Toni Collette was and is like my idol. She was the one that for me, was like the beacon. Like what she was doing, I was like, oh, that's what I want to do. So to be seen partners with her was in my formative years. I think I got that job. It was like 18 to 21 when I did that show, and it was just absolutely perfect. I will also say that Kong Skull Island I auditioned for and I didn't get, and then I auditioned for it again and I got it. Also Unicorn Store. I had auditioned for it and got down to the wire, I think, on it, and didn't get it. And then 5 years later, it was offered to me to direct, and it was a dream come true because I felt like everything was coming full circle at that moment. And we love a full circle moment, don't we? The room audition was particularly odd because I had to pretend that a full-grown woman was a 5-year-old. She was just on her knees for my eyeline. I mean, she was wonderful. I remember feeling really good about it. And I remember getting in the car afterwards and calling my agent and manager, and they were like, you sound so relaxed. Like you sound like you're in a hot tub. And I just remember saying like, if it's mine, then it'll happen. and I got it. And it was amazing. But with Room, I had 9 months. I had more than that. I think I had a year. So I had plenty of time to torture myself, I guess. Learn about this horrific sides of the world and try and do justice by these women and by that character. Scott Pilgrim was interesting. I was a huge fan of Edgar Wright, really wanted to be in this movie, didn't understand what the movie was exactly. It was based off of a graphic novel that there was only like one of them out. So I didn't have enough information to really understand what it was. The pages that I had were like a little bit pieces of the script and most of it was redacted. And the only thing that was there was a description that said a husky non-Ramona voice. I didn't even know who Ramona was. So I was like, I don't know how to not be Ramona, but I gotta not be that. This is the truth and it's really crazy. So I was staying up way too late, flipping through the channels, and I stumbled on the Adult Video Awards. And I was watching the red carpet and I was watching these women with this like confidence and this just like allure. And they were so great at like their self-promotion. And I was like, that's it. That's what I'm gonna do.
Your hair is getting shaggy?
Yeah.
So, that's Ramona.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm jealous.
You're jealous?
I'm allowed.
You left me for that cocky pretty boy.
You've never even seen him.
Yeah, I know. You left me for a guy I've never even seen.
Maybe you'll see him soon. We're playing a show at Lee's Palace you should like. So, totally come.
That's so not gonna happen.
Great. You're so on the list.
I was cast pretty quick. It was bomb. So for Captain Marvel, I remember getting a call when I was shooting Kong, and I was in Australia at that point filming. I remember they called and they said, Marvel is interested in you playing Captain Marvel, and I was like, oh, I can't do that. Like, I have too much anxiety. That's too much for me. I don't think I can handle that. And I was like, so tell them no. And my team was like, okay, for sure. I think a couple months later, they were like, hey, they called again, are you sure? And I was like, yeah, like I'm too much of an introvert. That's way too big of a thing for me. Like it was beyond my comprehension. Like, no. And then they called like a third time, they're like, are you sure? So the point is every time I was like, tell them no, and I thought my team was telling them no, they were not. Because I think they were like, she would be great at this. I have a problem with when I'm filming and when I'm always has been like this, and it's part of why like I was broke all the time, was because I couldn't multitask. If I'm on a job and I'm playing a character, I can't self-tape. I can't do anything else. I can only do like one job at a time. I'm embodying this character. I can't think about something else. So they were like, let's just wait until this is over. So
blah, 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 blah. Time skips up ahead.
I'm back from filming. So I had a meeting with them and they had a pitch. And they had a mock-up of the costume. And I was very moved by what they were trying to achieve, what they were talking about, and it felt very progressive. I was very surprised by that, by the way that they were talking about feminism, the way they were handling it. They were like all female writers, female director, like gonna have as many female voices in this as possible. And it was just like, what? Part of what was kind of amazing about it and scary about it was I wasn't allowed to talk to anybody about it. I mean, looking back on it, I don't think like the Marvel police was gonna come into my home if I like told my mom, but I was just like, I'm such a goody-goody. I was like, I'm not gonna tell anybody about what happened. And so I thought about it. The next step was, I said, I really wanna meet with the writers and let me talk with them and see what they're doing and let me see if this story makes sense. And this is, because to me, it's like, I don't need to like be that, and like that's a whole level of fame that I had never expected to participate in. And it was like, okay, well, the only way this works is if I believe in the story and what the messaging is. And if that's the case, then like, okay, you know, this is here and it's happening, and it would be against like the flow if I said no. So I met with them. It was amazing. I loved everything that they had to say. I was so excited about it. And I remember going home and being like, oh my God, I'm gonna do this. And I remember exactly where I was in my dining room, and I was staring at my like really crappy like bookshelf I got from Salvation Army, like still like a broke actor, and being like, oh my God, I'm gonna do this. And then I agreed. And I remember laughing a lot. I remember my team being really proud of me because they knew that it was a big step for me in embodying myself and believing that I could do something so big, in my confidence as a leader, in the belief in storytelling. So after that, I didn't tell anybody. I had friends texting me saying, "You're in Captain Marvel, it's amazing." And I was like, "I don't know what you're talking about." Oh, I was so scared. Yeah, it felt really good when I was on stage at Comic-Con and it all came out and it was in the open. And, of course I had many more secrets to hold after that about what the movie was about and all that, but at least I was firmly placed as Captain Marvel. That was it. I've never had a process like that before.
Okay, well, thanks for watching. I thought I'd wrap it up by adding in some helpful tips with auditioning, because I would say the general shape is just don't do what I did. But I think I can be a little bit more specific than that. And these are obviously not comprehensive. I don't know what I'm doing. So this is just after talking with my team, who also deal with a lot of people auditioning, and my however many, over a decade, 2 decades worth of auditioning. Yeah, like 2 decades worth of auditioning. This is what I've come to think is helpful. Okay. Number 1, don't try to do what you think that they want. Okay, we don't shape ourselves and mold ourselves to be something for somebody else. I know this seems crazy in a world where you're trying to get a job and are playing a character, but it is at the end of the day about embodying and about authenticity. Those times that I lied, you show up on set and you don't, for me, I didn't really get along with the director very well, or something fell off and I realized that I just wasn't the right fit and I was acting like I was. Think about it if you lied on a first date or something like that, eventually it's gonna catch up with you. 2, make a choice. Don't be afraid. I think that being memorable for making a choice, even if you end up not being right for the character, people will remember you and think of you for the future. So that's another important thing to remember, is the audition is not necessarily just for that one thing you're auditioning for. You're making impressions with whoever it is that's seeing that video. I mean, I think about past auditions for myself, in particular ones for Judd Apatow or comedians who do a lot of improv. It took a couple of times of auditioning for them before I got in Trainwreck, and it was just that they remembered me and we had a rapport from all the times I had auditioned previously, and we had built good faith, 3, if you make a mistake, say you're deep in the scene and you're "Trevor, I'm in love with you," and you forget the line or you drop a line, smooth, just be smooth. I think showing that you have the confidence to think on your feet and that you're not gonna be rattled if a mistake happens is sometimes more important than saying the line right. I mean, the thing that I always remind myself of is that my job is 99% failure, and I don't just mean with auditions. Think about how long it takes to make a movie versus in the movie that you see. I mean, we shoot hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours of footage for it to be an hour and a half. So most of it ends up on the cutting room floor, as they say in the business. But what that means is just it wasn't a good take, or it didn't fit. So be comfortable with the fact that a mistake is gonna happen. So, that should be the next one. 4, mistakes are gonna happen. Is that right? Well, we'll call that 3. Okay, 3, you make a mistake. 4, if you feel you got to the end of the scene, say you're in the audition room, let me set the scene. You're in the audition room, you're there with the director, you're there with the producer and the casting director, and you do the take and the director's "It's great, thank you so much." And you in your gut, you're there's a choice that I wanted to make, there's something that I wanted to do, I didn't get to do it. Just ask for it. Say, "Hey, can I do it one more time?" Nothing wrong with that. In fact, important, give yourself closure. Give yourself some agency. This is your time in the room. It's not you get to have to walk in and be "Oh, it's all up to them." No, this is your space. Embody yourself. Ask for what you need. 5, you're gonna have bad auditions. It is going to happen. I think that the idea of doing really well at every single audition is impossible. If you're thinking about all the breadth of characters that you're probably not going to be right for, but you try and you explore it. Also then the specificity of the time. So it's on that Tuesday at 2 o'clock, you need to be this character perfectly. It's just not reasonable to ask that of yourself. Everything is a learning experience. Everything is just getting the reps in. As much as it tortured me to do as many auditions as I did, it really did prep me for the future. So that when I was on set, not only was I just deeply grateful to be there, I also had a lot of experience. I knew how to take direction. I knew how to kind of deal with the flow and the way that things get, things pop up. It's not smooth sailing every day on set. And so you start to learn how to roll with it. 6 would be the audition starts the second you walk in the room, period. So whatever that is, and feel it out. There were times for me where, because I understood that, I'd come in kind of as the character from the very beginning, or not. Maybe your vibe is that. I think it's an amazing test of an actor if they can switch in and out. I think it's incredible. Like, I've done scenes with amazing character actors who you're doing a scene, they're doing a different accent, completely different character, and then the second you'll cut, they're like, hey, and they're like, their body changes. That's incredible. It's up to you. If you feel good and you want to embody the character on your way in, but just make sure that you understand that from the very beginning, the audition started. It's not once you sit in the chair, it's not once you say the line, it's the whole way through. Oh, and 7, use it as an opportunity to get to know them. I don't mean you have to ask them a bunch of questions and be like, where are you from and all that stuff, but feel for yourself if it's the right place for you. Because as much as you are there auditioning for them, they can be auditioning for you in a way, right? You're seeing if you work well together. You might walk away from, I can't tell you how many times I walked away from auditions, and even though I wanted the job, I was like, I didn't understand their direction, or their direction didn't feel like the way that I wanted to go with the character. And then it's like, great, clear. So it doesn't always have to be this thing of you presenting yourself to them and waiting for them to give you the opportunity. It can also be you assessing the situation and seeing what's right for you. I will end all of this by saying I started a YouTube channel so that I could have freedom, flexibility, and do the things that I wanted to do. That's also available to you. Make stuff on your phone, write things. I remember even when I was younger, I used to just film myself doing monologues and watch it back. You start to learn things about yourself. Don't allow other people to dictate when you're allowed to express yourself and do your craft. Much love to all of you. Thank you for taking the time. Hope you are happy and safe in your body. I plan to post a video next week. Sometimes I end up getting scared and I just don't, so just know, sorry if things are not totally consistent. I'm trying my best, learning how to do it, okay? Bye!